Welcome back, everybody. We're in Shanghai for the first time this week, or this tournament. We've got Shanghai, and we're watching Djokovic take on Cilic, which is a very interesting matchup for the second round. Apparently, the courts in Shanghai have been slowed down dramatically. It was a bit of a shame. Would maybe make sense why Shelton lost against Goffin earlier today. Maybe that's why he lost, because he wasn't getting the same pop off the serve as you'd expect in previous Shanghai Masters. Also, Ben Shelton hasn't played for a while. But, yeah, that's a little disappointing, though, because Shanghai being a medium court is kind of boring. I kind of wish it was a fast court like it should be. But we'll watch to see if the court speed makes a difference. Already, Runa got through. Cerundolo, as I mentioned, Goffin beat Shelton. That's the big upset of the day. Tien won earlier today. Djokovic is playing now. Then we've got Fritz later as well. Winner of this will take on Halfman, who beat up Tiafo earlier today. So that's interesting. Rude's playing as well soon. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Also, Pegula is beating Navarro first set 4-2. So that's also just begun. Yeah. So that is where we're at. How we doing, chap? Are we ready for this day? Are we ready for this day? Match 1? Cool. But yeah, and then after this, that's it. Tomorrow, though, Sinner's playing, and also Gauff versus Navarro tomorrow as well. Sorry, not Navarro. Gauff versus Nissimova tomorrow. So a couple of good matches worth watching tomorrow. So Film Any good? I actually not end up seeing it because I ended up doing other things instead. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it. Time ran out. I didn't have enough time. It goes for 3 hours, and I only had a few hours to do stuff. So yeah. So hopefully I'll go see it tomorrow or the next during next week. Court slower than expected. Disadvantage for Novak? I don't think so. I think it's an advantage. I think it helps Djokovic. The court being slower. Will Djokovic win? I think so. I think Djokovic will win this match. Probably in straight sets. Cilic might sneak a tiebreak, though. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Nole should win, hopefully. Yeah, he should win. All right, last time they played. These two haven't played for 3 years. They played like twice in the last 7 years or something like that. So these guys have not played much lately. Which is a bit of a surprise. 2 Grand Slam champions from the 1980s. So, yeah. Eala is also on schedule for tomorrow. Wait, what? When? When is she playing? Is she playing Wuhan? Wuhan qualies. What time? She is playing tomorrow. Oh, she's playing at the same. Oh my gosh, she's playing at the same time as Sinner. Cool. Lifetime head-to-head is 19-2 in favor of Djokovic. Cilic won 2 matches in a row, like 8 years ago. All right. So, yeah, so tomorrow we've got... It's actually not a bad schedule, to be honest. We've got Gauff and Islamova, Eala, and then we've got Sinner. So it's actually pretty... They're all pretty much around the same time. So it's actually not a terrible schedule. I'm not too mad at that. I'm not too upset by that. She was going to play tomorrow either way if she'd won today or not. So... I just didn't realize she was playing. I didn't know if she was going to play the qualies. I wasn't sure if she was going to take the week off, but we'll see. She's not got an easy match. Uchiyama is a tough first round, but we'll see. Cool. All right, who you got, chat? I'm going to go Djokovic in straight sets. I think I said a close straight sets. And I will stick to that. Djokovic won the toss, elected to serve. And he will serve first. We didn't think we'd going to get Novak for most of the rest of the year. But here he is. Here he is. Djokovic is here. Surprising the world. Shocking the world that he's here. He said, I'm not playing anymore. And then he's playing. As he serves the fault. Second serve. Second serve. It's a backhand rally. Slice Djokovic. And the forehand Cilic. Djokovic backhand again. The forehand Cilic. Cilic in the net. And it's 15-love. Djokovic just fixing his racket. And he serves. To the backhand Cilic. Djokovic backhand to the backhand Cilic. To the backhand Djokovic. It's Cilic with the forehand. Goes wide. 30-love. All right. 30-love. As Cilic is out on the return, 40-love. As a return, goes out by Cilic, and Djokovic holds 1-love. All right. 1-love. Let's see what Cilic can do. All right. Cilic to serve. Cilic is the winner. And it's 15-love. By the way, this is the first time Djokovic is playing a best-of-3 set match since Geneva, which was back in May. So he hasn't played a 3-set match for a long, long time, which is quite surprising, but also maybe not, really. There's a bit of backhand Djokovic to the volley of Cilic, backhand Djokovic lob, goes long, and it's 30 love. 30 love. As Cilic backhand to the backhand of Djokovic, down the line of the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic forehand cross-court winner. 30-15. All right, 30-15. As Cilic serves again. Serving to the forehand of Djokovic, return. And the forehand of Cilic, Djokovic forehand in the net, 40-15. 40-15. All right, Cilic holds 1-1. All right, 1-1. As Djokovic comes to the net. But Cilic's lob goes long. 15 love. What are you doing, Mia? What are you doing? 15 love. Djokovic serves a fault, second serve. Ah, 15-0. Serve again. Great serve, Djokovic, 30-15. As that goes in the net by Cilic, 40-15. I made a fault second serve. As a return goes into the forehand. Cilic, backhand Djokovic. Cilic with a volley, cross-court winner, 40-30. Lovely volley. $40-30. All right, 40-30. I'm going to fault second serve. Second serve, Djokovic to get back to get the lead. As Djokovic hits it out eventually, and it's deuce. We get the deuce. Serve again. And the backhand of Cilic. Cilic hits it out in the return. Advantage Djokovic. As Djokovic holds with some good serving. All right. Djokovic leads. All right. All right. FA could make the final with no Carlos in the top half. True. It's a good opportunity for a lot of players up the top half of the drop. That is true. A lot of players at the top half of the draw can now take Alcaraz's spot. All right. All right. Nice thing from Nole at the net. Love 15. Love 15. As Cilic comes in, puts that away. 15 all. All right. $30-15. Has Nola hurt his hand? He has an ice glove. No. So the ice glove would be to avoid blisters. As with a forehand from Djokovic, down the line of the backhand of Cilic. Djokovic with a slice. Cilic goes down the line again, the backhand of Djokovic, who hits it wide. And it's 40-15. So I'm just having a look at here what an ice glove does. So an ice glove is to provide compression, but it is used. The benefits are to reduce swelling in joints, which he hasn't played for a while, so you would think maybe that's part of it. Reduce the swelling in the joints, keeps the hand pain from arthritis, which I don't think he has, but you just never know. Soft tissue soreness, which would be by the way, it says ice hot or cold glove. Hang on. Yeah, so it'd be probably because he hasn't played much, so it's probably just to keep his wrist, his fingers, his joints in his right hand to keep them in check after not having played much. I'm trying to think, has he had wrist injuries lately? Has Djokovic had any wrist pain in the last in the last year or so? I'm trying to remember. I know he's had elbow problems, he's had forearm issues, but he had obviously the knee problem. But has he had any wrist in issues lately? He was using it in Miami as well. Yeah, and also it probably is to keep his hand cool, so that what's the humidity in Shanghai? Humidity in Shanghai is at 78%. So I would say it's probably got something to do with having not played for a while and not playing any matches for a while. His hand might have softened up, so he doesn't have he might get blisters a little easier. So maybe it's to avoid blisters as well. They're my guesstimations. I'm not a doctor. But I would say that it's probably a combination of trying to keep his hand, keep his hand, after not playing so much tennis lately, keep his hand from getting injured, either the wrist or the blisters. Like I said, very, very humid. So it's probably, and if he was using it in Miami, humidity. So yeah, it's probably a combination. More injury prevention, if that makes sense. Injury prevention. He is also not holding his racket in the right hand at the like when he's moving around. So maybe there is, 15-0. Maybe there is something wrong, or something. Maybe in practice, he might have maybe got some soreness in his hand from not playing much. Remember, he's only played the Grand Slams in the last couple of months. Hasn't played any tennis outside the Grand Slam. So as he serves, a let out wide. See, an interesting thing that you find if somebody's got an arm injury or a right hand or anything to do with their playing arm, if they're holding the racket in the opposite hand, it's always interesting to note that. Like if remember when Sinner hurt his elbow and he started holding the racket in his left hand when he was when he didn't have to hold the racket in his right, That's always an interesting kind of like, why is he not holding the racket in his preferred hand? Why does he change hands? So keep an eye on that as well. If Djokovic is holding the racket in his left hand a lot when he's not playing, that's interesting. Might not mean anything, but also like it's just something interesting to keep a note on. Because if he's avoiding holding the racket in his preferred hand, then you got to think that he's trying to avoid something. As the return goes in the backhand of Djokovic, backhand now from Cilic, 30-15. Into the forehand of Djokovic is Cilic with a slice. Into the forehand of Djokovic. Again, the backhand of Cilic, lob goes up. And Djokovic puts away the smash. So he is holding the racket in his right hand now. So, again, I think it's probably prevention. They were talking about the gloves in Miami. Yeah, it would be blisters, probably my guess. Final answer. Blisters. B. Blisters. I've asked the audience. I've used my 50-50. I haven't got any friends to phone, so I'm just going to have to go for it. Lock in B. Blisters. For $500,000. Serve out wide the forehand of Cilic. Great return. Djokovic forehand again to the forehand of Cilic. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Sliced. Cilic comes to the net, but hits it long. And Djokovic holds. 3-2. By the way, Cilic before this week was on like a 6-match losing streak. So remember that as well. That's not great. So yeah, Nole is looking for sawdust. So yeah, sweat, blisters. That's what he's trying to avoid. He's got sawdust, which is the old school method of keeping your hands dry. You're just giving him talcum powder and not sawdust. He wants the real shit. By the way, if you go watch like tennis back in the like 70s, 80s, Ivan Lendl used to shove that shit in his pocket, and they used to like get it out of their pocket. And Djokovic is going old school. He's shoving the sawdust into his right pocket for when he needs to serve. He can just put some sawdust on his hands. So he's going old school, Nole. Getting the old sawdust out. What the hell? Hey, look, if it dries your hand up, it's better than a towel. It's better for you. It works better than a towel. Why not? So yeah. So again, I'm sticking with blisters. You can't change my mind. I'm sticking with blisters. He's trying to avoid blisters. Trying to avoid getting blisters in his first match back because he knows that he might have to play Sinner later this week. So you don't want to play Sinner if you've got blisters. You don't want to play Sinner anyway, but if you've got blisters, less so. Some of the players, by the way, now we've got a bit more of an idea of what's going on. So Djokovic will play the winner. He'll play Hampton in the next round. Gaboli, Rublev are also floating around, and then also Casper Ruud. So with Shelton gone, that helps a lot. But I tell you, if these courts are slow or slower than last year, Ruud might actually have a pretty good chance of doing some job. Because if the courts have slowed down from last year, so last year, according to the internet, Shanghai was at about a 40, which is a medium fast court, on the very, very low end of the medium court fast. If they've gone down to like a 35 or a third, what was it? Gene, what did you send me? Was it 34? That I read? If it's down to like a 34, that's almost like Indian Wells. Yeah, so apparently center court today is at a 32, which is like medium slow. So going from medium fast to medium slow is a big switch. You know, we're going from I guess Australian Open to Indian Wells. So somebody like a Casper Ruud might be able to do well here on a slow hard court. And that would be very tricky for Djokovic, to take someone like that on. Especially because we saw how good Ruud was against Alcaraz last week, and we know how good Ruud is in general. That could be a tough match for Nole in the quarters, on this kind of court. With Ruud ripping the ball the way that he does with his spin, that could be awkward. Yeah, 32, that's super slow compared to last year. If I look at looking at the graph that over the last couple of years. So Shanghai, back in 2016 was a 44, and it's been about, over the last 5 years or so, it's hovered around a 41, 42, which between 40 and 44 is considered medium fast. Anything below 40 is medium. And then there's medium slow is below 35. So it's a 32. We're talking about like real slow. Indian Wells, for comparison, over the last couple of years has been a 33. So if Shanghai is as slow as Indian Wells, that's interesting. And who did well at Indian Wells? Well, Draper, he's not here. But Runa, right? Runa made the final, right? No Alcaraz. But yeah, the players that did well in Indian Wells that are playing might actually be the ones to watch this week. You know, Runa, Medvedev, he made the semis in Indian Wells. Maybe, I know he hates slow hard courts, but maybe he's worth watching. Cerundolo made the quarterfinals in Indian Wells this year. So yeah, maybe those who do well at Indian Wells might actually be the ones to watch. And the ones who didn't do well at Indian Wells this year, players like, well, Ruud lost second round, which is a bit weird. Rublev, obviously Fritz has done well at Indian Wells, so maybe he's worth a watch. Sinner didn't play Indian Wells, so we can't talk about him much anyway. Djokovic lost second round Indian Wells, but that was against Van der Zandt, Schulp, and he's a freak. So he can do anything at any time. Who else lost early in Indian Wells? It's one of the big names. Not many. There's not too many of the big names lost in Indian Wells. Griekspoor did well at Indian Wells. Maybe he's worth a watch. Zverev lost second round of Indian Wells. So he might struggle this week if the courts are slow. So maybe keep an eye on Zverev. He's not got an easy draw anyway, but maybe someone like a Zverev might be somebody to watch on to struggle here. But yeah. But interesting. Court speed is dramatically slower. But that's just today. Maybe tomorrow it's fast. I don't know. But it looks like they've slowed down the courts big time. Maybe because they want a Sinkeraz final. Well, too bad. He's not playing. He's not playing. 30-15. You're making false equivalents, bro. We're just shooting the shit, mate. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. 30-15. It's not that deep. We just don't use big words. I don't understand them. 30-15. As we get a fault from Djokovic, second serve. Navarro won the first set in a tiebreak. Wait, what? She was losing though. The hell? She was losing. Pegula was up 4-2. As Cilic's return goes wide. 40-15, Djokovic. All right, 40-15. All right, 40-15. All right, his return goes out by Cilic, and it's 4-3. 4-3. Pegula had 6 set points. Wow. Okay. That's wild. Yeah, Noskova won against Cartel pretty easily earlier today. All right. Guy comes in here, says 2 players past their prime. Yeah, no shit. Thanks for clarifying that one. I appreciate that. Thanks for reminding. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's right. They're just yeah. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Is it paint or coating of the surface that changes the speed? It can be. It can be the paint. If they usually it's usually the grit. And again, you're gonna have to double check because I'm basing it off the Australian Open. So different courts might be made different ways, but I'm guessing that this venue isn't a tennis-only venue, that during the rest of the year they use it for other purposes, right? So it's probably a basketball court or whatever it is, outside of the tennis season. So they would probably when they concrete the court and they put down the layer of concrete on the top, it's probably got more grit in it, which makes it stickier and makes it slow down when the ball hits the ground. And also the paint maybe have a little bit of grit in it as well. That's what they do in Australian Open. They don't. Indian Wells, I don't know if they've resurfaced the courts in Indian Wells, but in Australia they resurfaced the court, Rod Laver Arena specifically. So usually it's again, I'm not sure if this court, if they do resurface, they must have resurfaced if it's slower. But yeah, it's usually in the grit in like the concrete or the paint that kind of determine whether it's going to be slower. They do that with, So like when you run your hand over the court, you'll feel like it's got a bit more like sand. It feels like it's got more sand and stuff in it. Like it feels like sharper. That makes sense, rather than smooth. So yeah. So they're probably, again, I don't know if anybody's like at Shanghai has said anything about the court changing or anything, or if they've changed manufacturers sometimes. Sometimes when they change from one company making the court and then they change to another company, it can be different, right? I don't know if they've done that or if they've just decided to change the surface speed or change the surface to slow down so they can get more. Look, every tournament right now in the world wants a Sinner final, right? Everyone wants Sinner versus Alcaraz if they can help it. It's the best match in tennis. It's the match that everybody wants, right? So all the tournaments are probably going to try and accommodate to get them in the final. Now, the problem is Alcaraz is gone. He's not playing. So you can't have Sinner final if one of them's not playing. But that seems to be... Federer said it, right? He said all the court speeds are a little bit similar. There's not much room for variety. And, we're getting a lot of... And look, and also Sinner and Alcaraz are great. They're very, very good at tennis. They're better than everybody else. So you would think that maybe some courts are trying to like accommodate to get the more chance that they can play, those guys can play each other, the better for the tournament. If you can have a Sinner right now, that is a money match. All right, 15:30. Chance for Cilic. Sorry, Djokovic to break Cilic. Agree with all that you said, but there are those who are bored of Sinner. I know. People are bored. Some people are getting bored of Sinner as Cilic serves an ace 30 all. But for the tournaments, Sinner is the money match, right? Yeah, Sinner Djokovic is going to be great if we get that. But Sinner is the match that every tournament want if they can try and help it, But the thing is, they don't necessarily have to make a slow court for that to happen, because look what happened in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the court was quick and they made the final together, right? But yeah, it is, El Clasico. Yeah, it is, I guess back in when Federer played, to have a Federer-Djokovic final or a Nadal-Djokovic final, it didn't need to be a slow court because Federer can get to the final on a fast court, right? Whereas maybe a slower court, they've probably done the research, right? They wouldn't have slowed the court down. And then again, maybe they're slowing the court down because they just don't want it to be served bot heavies either. Maybe they want more rallies. I don't know. Again, maybe you have to ask the tournament. Why are the courts slower? Is there a reason? Is there a strategy behind it, or is it just like, we just changed manufacturers, As with a backhand to Djokovic. Cilic with a forehand winner. All right, 4-4. 4 games all. All right. But yeah, 32 is a dramatic change from previous years. All right. I'm just having a look here to see if they've actually changed the ball type as well. Apparently, from a Wilson to a Yonex as well, which is interesting. I didn't even know that no other major tournament uses Yonex as the ball brand. So that's interesting. They went from Dunlop to Wilson to Yonex, apparently. So that's interesting that that Shanghai are using a Yonex ball. I didn't even know that was a thing. As that goes wide by Cilic, 15 love. So that's interesting. That they've changed the ball type as well. All right, 15 love. As with a backhand Djokovic into the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic backhand again. To the backhand of Cilic. Djokovic backhand. Again, the backhand of Cilic. To the backhand of Djokovic. Now Cilic with a forehand. Djokovic goes again, the backhand of Cilic. Down the line to the forehand of Djokovic. Cilic forehand again as Djokovic goes down the line for a winner. Great rally, 30 love. 30 love. All right, 30 love. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As that goes net by Cilic on the return. And it's 40 love. All right, nice serving Nole, 5-4. 5-4. All right. I'm just having a look here to see if they changed the court manufacturer in Shanghai, because if they did change... So apparently they were lay court, I think. Wuhan... Or maybe not. Maybe Wuhan. Okay, Wuhan is a lay cold surface, which is not the same as Shanghai. So Wuhan and Chengdu. So what surface are these events? How the hell do I find this shit? Why can't I find this information? Where's the information? Is there a way that I can see the... Oh, here we go. I think I found it. Oh, where the hell is it? There's got to be a place where I can see where, like, each court manufacturer, right? Per tournament? Is there a way? Is there a place for that? Surely there's got to be. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. Oh, here we go. So California Sports Surfaces is apparently, or Deco Turf is apparently the Shanghai Masters surface choice, which is different to the US Open, which was lay cold. So apparently it's California Sports Surfaces. The Deco Turf is what they use here. Or the Deco Turf. I can read. As that goes out by Djokovic. And they work within medium, slow, medium, fast, hard courts. So they, vary. As Cilic gets to 40 love. So yeah, China Open, Korea Open, and Shanghai Masters are all Deco Turf. Which was from back in 2023, this article, so it must be the same. Yeah. As Cilic tries to take the game and level. Cilic holds. It's 5-5. Five games all. And Deco Turf, by the way, used to be what they used at the US Open up until 2019. And now 2019... that was when they started having faster courts because they changed the surface, the US Open, to a different manufacturer. So that's interesting. A notable change. So I think that's something that, again, we've got to consider. All right, 5-5. Love 15. Who actually makes or builds the tennis courts? So the tournaments would hire one of those brands that I'd mentioned. Would hire one of those. By the way, is that Medvedev watching Djokovic? Yeah, the manufacturer, the tournaments would hire a tennis court manufacturer to make the courts. So yeah, so Shanghai today is very slow. I don't know if yesterday was slow, but today it's 30. It's a 32, which we got to keep an eye on that. Very slow, much slower than last year. As with a slice now from Cilic to the backhand slice of Djokovic, slice from Cilic again into the slice of Djokovic. Djokovic in the net, love 30. It was slow yesterday too. There you go. Yeah, so with the humidity and the courts being slow, expect a lot of fatigue. By the way, yesterday, who was it? Was it Medvedev who had a heat stroke? No. It was one of the French players, I think, who was struggling with heat stroke. I think it was Atman, was it? So, yeah. So, long rallies and in this weather, that's going to be a tough combination. At this 10 months into the season, that's going to be brutal. So, expect a lot of players to feel fatigue this week. It's going to be a real battle of fitness this week. With this weather and this and the slow courts, it's 78% humidity. It's super humid. Love 30. So humidity plus long rallies is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough week in Shanghai. As Cilic in the net, 15-30. Sorry. So yeah, so expect a lot of players to be very tired. Maybe Alcaraz skipping this wasn't the worst idea. while everyone's going to be worn out, he'll be fresh. Or fresher for not playing. All right. And not easy to win points. So there's going to be some long rallies. And you're not going to get free points on serve like most players would have last year. So it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a bit of a grind this week for the players if this continues. 15:30. Serve again. Into the backhand of Cilic. Djokovic forehand. Into the backhand of Cilic. Cilic hits it wide. And it's 30-all. 30-all. Pegula's up a break in the second, by the way. Also, oh, pardon me. Greek Sports beating up Brooksby at the moment. 30-all. Cilic forehand. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Cilic. Forehand again to the slice of Djokovic. There's Cilic. Puts away the forehand win up. 30-40. Cilic to get the break. 30-40. By the way, really interested to hear what Ben Shelton had to say today. Because he's played well here before, and he would be interesting to hear after his loss what he thinks of this court speed, because it would obviously negatively affect his game. When last year or the year before, he beat Sinner here, you know? All right, first break point of the match. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Cilic a chance to break here. Serve is a let. Shelton was rusty. Well, then maybe that was the reason. All right, 30-40. Serve. Into the forehand of Cilic. Good return. Oh, no, he just missed it. He just missed the return. And we get to deuce. So I'm just having a look last year. Last year, from the quarterfinals onwards, there was only one 3-set match. There was a couple of good straight sets matches, close straight sets, but yeah. All right, deuce. And the return goes out by Cilic, advantage Djokovic. Advantage Djokovic. Take back the lead. Serving the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic backhand to the backhand of Cilic. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Cilic slice. Into the slice of Djokovic. Cilic slice again. Into the forehand of Djokovic. Cilic. Backhand cross court. Djokovic gets it with a slice on the backhand, but it's in the net. And we get to deuce again. All right, deuce. All right. Return goes to the backhand of Cilic. Backhand of Djokovic. Into the backhand of Cilic as Djokovic. Backhand again. Cilic with a slice. As Djokovic hits a winner down the line. And he's laughing about it. Advantage Djokovic. And the crowd love that one too. Beautiful hitting from Nole. Lovely forehand winner. Even Runa thought that was good. I love that Runa's watching this. God, please, Runa, get good. We love you. We want to see more of you, Runa. Come on. Stay winning. Come on, Runa. You can do it this week. Come on, we want to watch you. With no Alcaraz, we need Runa to step up. That's what we need. He needs to take his place or something. You know, at least be the guy that can push Sinner. Come on. We know you can. We know he can be. He is that guy. Come on. Anyways, Cilic hits a winner. It's deuce. We need Runa to step the hell up this week. It's his turn. It's your time, Runa. Come on, Holger. It's your time. Deuce. Djokovic serves again. First serve is a fault, second serve. Second serve. As with a slice from Cilic. And then Djokovic hits a winner down the line again. All right, advantage Nole. Advantage Djokovic. Advantage Djokovic. Cilic returns the forehand to Djokovic. Cilic forehand. Again to the forehand to Djokovic. Cilic down the line. Djokovic backhand cross court. Cilic with a slice. It's a drop shot and it's too good. All right, Cilic back to deuce. Lovely drop shot winner. All right, deuce. All right, deuce. As Djokovic hits it in the net. Advantage Cilic. To take the break and serve for the set. Advantage Cilic. We had a fault. Second serve. As the backhand goes into the slice of Cilic. Backhand slice from Djokovic. Into the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic forehand down the line. Cilic there with the backhand, but he hits it in the net. And we get to deuce again. This is a marathon game. Somebody say that there was going to be marathons this week, maybe? I don't know. Chad, have I told you about the court speed? Have I told you about the court speed? All right, back to deuce. Djokovic serves. Into the backhand of Cilic. Return goes in the net. And it's advantage Norway. Advantage Djokovic. Advantage Djokovic to take the lead back. As Djokovic forehand into the forehand of Cilic. To the backhand of Djokovic. Cilic backhand on the stretch. Goes wide. And Djokovic finally holds. 5-6 or 6-5. Djokovic leads. Cilic will serve to get to a tiebreak. All right. Cool. All right. 55 minutes played. It looks very fast. The courts are very slow. The courts are Indian Wells levels of slow, which is interesting. So yeah, we're looking at Indian Wells levels of slowness in these courts. Which is not ideal. But it just depends on who you follow. Maybe it's great for your guy. Maybe it's terrible for your guy. All right, let's see if Cilic can get to this tiebreak. He's worked hard to get here. Oh, Novak's getting spoken to by the umpire about, I guess about the speed on which he's playing, maybe? I don't know. Is he getting told to be faster? I don't know. The umpire giving him the courtesy warning. We'll see if that... I don't think he's been close to time violations. Maybe he has, though. All right, Djokovic is out in the return. 15 love. All right. As Djokovic goes short into the forehand of Cilic, Djokovic guesses right with the backhand, and then Cilic with a volley into the corner. Beautiful volley. And it's 30 love. All right, 30 love. As Cilic serves a fault, second serve. As Cilic hits a drop shot winner. Or did it go wide? No, it went in. Nice drop shot. All right. 40 love. Get to the tiebreak. He serves the fault, second serve. As the backhand goes in by Djokovic to the slice of Cilic. Djokovic forehand. Into the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic to the volley in the net. All right, Cilic holds 6-all. Tiebreak first set here. Who you got winning the tiebreak, chat? Who you got winning this tiebreak? I'm going to go with Djokovic, but it's been a hell of a first set. Also, Pegula about to win the second against Navarro. Nole. Cilic. All right. Djokovic serving first. All right, is it a backhand rally? Cilic down the line. Great shot. Djokovic gets it back with a slice. And then Cilic backhand winner down the line. 1-love Cilic. One zero. Cilic serves again. Into the slice of Djokovic. Cilic. Forehand cross court. Djokovic puts up a lob. And a bounce smash. Oh no, forehand from Cilic. All right. Djokovic back in the rally. Cilic backhand cross court. Djokovic gets with a slice off the tape. Cilic with a slice. Goes long. It's 1-1. Nole apologizes for getting a little lucky with the tape. 1-1. Pegula won the second. Nice. 1-1. Cilic serves a fault. Second serve. As a return goes in to the forehand of Cilic, but Cilic is along. All right, 2-1 Nole. Djokovic takes the mini break lead. All right. Djokovic to serve. So they're showing the shot clock. So I think Djokovic did get a little courtesy warning from the umpire at the previous change of ends that he's taking a little extra time. He needs to get a little quicker on the serve. And he serves down the tee. Into the forehand of Cilic. Return goes out. 3-1. 3-1 Djokovic. 3-1. Winner plays against Hanfman, who won earlier today, against Big Foe. We had a fault, second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Cilic. Great return. Djokovic gets it back. But then Cilic puts it away. All right. 3-2. We're back on serve. By the way, chat, after this, I'm going to watch another horror movie. Tonight, I am watching the space horror called Apollo 18. I've never watched it before, but it looks scary. Anything horror in space is terrifying to me. I think that's the scariest stuff. Space is scary. Space is crazy scary. To me. That shit's scary. And then you put aliens or you put whatever the hell's up in space as well. Space horror. It's crazy. Anyways, backhand down the line. And that goes in the forehand in the net from Cilic. 4-2, they change ends. Which one, Cam? I'm watching Apollo 18, which apparently is a horror movie. The Apollo movies are fine, but the Apollo 18 apparently is like it's a horror movie. It's not a real thing. Apollo 18 didn't happen, did it? Apollo 18 is I don't think it's based. Yeah, it's a found footage movie, so it's gonna be super creepy. I'm excited. Came out in 2011, and I've never seen it. Okay, so it was a cancelled. Okay, it was apparently yeah, it's based on the cancelled Apollo 18 mission back in the 70s. So there's apparently going to be a Apollo 18 were cancelled. Oh, after Apollo 13 and the further budget cuts. So that's why. So there was Apollo 18 and 19 was supposed to happen, but because of budget cuts, they didn't do them. But this movie talks about. This movie is about if they did do them, what would have happened? 4-2. To the backhand from Cilic, and the backhand of Djokovic, into the forehand of Cilic. Cilic, it's a long 5-2 Djokovic. Do you think they went to the moon or nah? I think a combination. I think it's like widely. I don't think it's a conspiracy to say that the footage that we saw was not of them on the moon, but they went. That seems to be. I feel like a lot more people are on board with that. Like they filmed it not there, and then they also did go. But the footage that they showed was partly, I don't know. I think they did. I reckon they did. There's a different time, chat. They were battling the Russians to get there first. It's a big deal. Anyway, 6-2. The space race was I wasn't around. I don't know. Anyways, 4-4 in a row. That goes out by Cilic. Djokovic. First set, 7-2. I reckon they did. They filmed. I reckon maybe they filmed a bit. But then like they showed it. But they also went. So it was kind of like just in case. That's kind of. I feel like a lot of people are sort of. I reckon they went. Because I reckon they wouldn't have just lied about the whole thing. That'd be crazy. If they were just like, yeah, they didn't even get on a spaceship. They're just like, oh, nobody even left the world. I think they went. But I think they used some footage that they might have done here. Just in case when they got up there, they couldn't film it. Or they couldn't record it. They couldn't transmit the images. And then nobody would believe they were there. So I feel like that's kind of common. People think that's... Again, because they were like, it was America versus Russia, right? They were trying to... America versus the Soviet Union. They were trying to get there first, and they had to prove that they were there first to win the space race. Right? I don't think I'm sounding like a crazy person saying that, am I? Am I crazy? Don't answer that. I don't think that's super uncommon to say. I think a lot of people probably think similar. But I think they went. Plus, I'd rather be in a world. I'd rather live in a world where they went, because it's way more fun to be like, oh, what a great, like back then, that was like mind blowing that they went to the moon. Nobody went to the moon. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it was a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And I like to live in a world where that, like, it inspired everybody. You know, it made everybody get excited about the future. That's an optimistic world, you know? I think it's more fun. All right. By the way, this is one of the conspiracy theories that's kind of fun, because there's a lot of obviously dark theories of other stuff, but I feel like moon landing is kind of fun. Like, it's kind of fun to like dissect it. Like, it's a conspiracy theory that doesn't really hurt anybody. You know, it's not like you know what I mean? Like, it's a fun theory. It's kind of it's light. It doesn't feel heavy and grim. You know, it kind of feels like, you know, like it's one of the nicest things to talk about. It's fun to kind of break it down. It's not you know, it's obviously a lot more other ones that are like too heavy, but I feel like this one's kind of a bit. It's fun, you know, because it's fun to talk about this, like the moon landing, because it doesn't really hurt. Like, if they, I mean, whatever you think happened, it doesn't really hurt anybody's feelings. And maybe it hurts the people that went, you know, if you're calling them liars and stuff, but I think they went. I just think they had backup footage just in case they couldn't show it. Because what's the point in going to the moon if you can't tell it? Like, did they go if they didn't show it? You know, like, how do they prove that? They had to prove it. So I think they did both. All right. Moving on. Tinfoil hats away. That was a long first set. An hour and 11 minutes for one set. Djokovic plays like that, but that's a long set for Djokovic. How do we get onto this topic anyway? Who the hell asked this silly question? Had nothing to do with the tennis. You're gonna be going down a rabbit hole? What the hell are you doing? Come on now. Who asked this question? Next topic, flat earth. All right. Come on now. What do you think, chat? Chat, what do you think? Did they go to the moon, yes or no, for fun? Sometimes we go off topic. Oh, yeah, I was talking about movies. It was my fault. It was my fault. I started this because I was talking about a movie. I was talking about Apollo 18, the movie I'm going to watch later. It's my fault. I'm the problem. Djokovic gets passed by a lovely forehand. So a lot of people saying no. Okay, so a lot of people don't think they went. Okay. All right. All right, 30 love. There's a bit of serve again. Down the tee is a fault. Second serve. A lot of people saying no. A lot of people don't think they went to the moon. Moon landing was fake. I was there. Where? 40 love. All right, 40 love. There's Cilic serves again. A fault, second serve. By the way, maybe I'm biased as well because I also think the space race, some of my favorite design, architectural and like furniture and stuff, some of my favorite design elements came from the space race. So if there wasn't a space race, then these sort of like Googie architecture and space-aged furniture and design would not have been a thing because there was nothing to inspire them. I love that stuff. I love that kind of like that aesthetic, and that wouldn't have been a thing had there not been a space race. You know, space-aged inspired technology wouldn't have been around as much if there wasn't a... Would have been interesting to live in the 60s during that time, like watching all that unfold. It would have been fun to really like... That would have been such an inspiration, I think. It would have been so fun. Like in the 60s, watching, like seeing, keeping up to date with what's going on with like the rockets and stuff, and would have been so exciting. Would have been really fun. And inspirational. All right, One Love Cilic, second set. All right. All right, Djokovic. Cam, you must watch a 2001 A Space Odyssey. Great movie. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen that movie. It's a classic. Classic Kubrick movie. Yeah, I've definitely seen that movie. It's such a great, like, that shit's so crazy. Like some of the I think that movie's awesome. I mean that's right. Any film lover or movie lover that's a classic. 15 Love. I haven't seen it for a while though, probably a couple of years, but yeah, 2001 A Space Odyssey is a classic. 15 Love. Djokovic serves again. And Djokovic serves an ace. 30 Love. Love. Another ace. 40 Love. (2001) Space Odyssey deserves to be in your DVD collection. You have it. I don't have it currently, but I know I could get one pretty quickly. Like all the thrift stores have them. 2001 Space Odyssey, I've seen it so many times in thrift, but I want it on Blu-ray. I want the high resolution version. So I'm going to wait until I can find it on Blu-ray. Because I think that's better. So I'm going to... But I could get it from a thrift store pretty quickly. Djokovic, by the way, looking a bit sore out there. We did see him at the US Open struggle physically in a lot of the early matches when he hadn't played for so long. So yeah, Djokovic looks like his back's giving him problems. Like almost like his like upper back. He's sort of doing this one. And then doing like, yeah, it looks like his back might be giving him some issues. He hasn't played for a while. And this has been a long grinding match so far. 1-1. Got all 3 Lord of the Rings extended DVDs from Salvos for $10. That's awesome. I went to a department store today to see what new DVDs were going for. They're selling them for like $20 each. I'm like, I can find this shit for $2. Second hand, but still very good quality. So it goes out by Cilic is Love 15. Love 15. Wuhan draw should be coming out tomorrow. Love 15. Cilic serves again. And someone's looking for somewhere to sit. Running around. Love 15. As would have served down the tee. The forehand of Djokovic. But Djokovic hits it out in the return. 15 all. 15-all. As Cilic eventually hits in the net, 15-30. A DVD's mauling around, making a return in Australia. Is Blockbuster now a hit down under? Not yet, but I hope so. That'd be awesome. If Blockbuster came back, that'd be sick. Or any of the equivalents in Australia, that'd be great. I'd love that. It's 15-30. Cilic serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve into the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand from Cilic in the net with a slice. And it's Djokovic with the break points. 15-40. We've had 0 breaks of serve in this match. 15-40. 15-40. As the return goes forward to Cilic. Cilic hits it wide. There's the break. 2-1. Nole in the second. All right. Why buy 1 when you can buy 10? True. Yeah, why buy 1 DVD from a store when you can buy 10 from a thrift? That is true. That is the truth. All right, 2-1. Don't know what the umpire's talking about. Or who the umpire's talking to. All right. All right. Is Nole at the age where Fed and Nadal felt they played him as he plays Sinner and Alcaraz? No. No. Not even close. Nadal's like a year younger than Djokovic, or a year older than Djokovic, so that, no. Djokovic and Federer were always like there was 5 years apart, but it would be like Djokovic playing, I don't know, who's like 31? Like Dimitri. Oh, no, not Dimi. Yeah, Djokovic's 38. So it'd be like Djokovic playing maybe, I don't even know. Like Djokovic versus like Hanfman in the next round, who's 33? No. No. Federer at 38 was taking on a 33-year-old Djokovic, not a 23-year-old Djokovic. It's a lot different. Definitely not the same as Djokovic playing Alcaraz and Sinner. They're way younger than Federer. Djokovic was to Federer, and Nadal was like not even. You know what I mean? Like it was like literally 1 year younger, right? All right, Djokovic in the net, 15-0. All right. 30 love. I thought Djokovic hit it out. 30 love. My bad. I wasn't watching. 30 love. But no. So the answer is no. It's nothing, not even close. All right. Backhand to backhand rally. Djokovic to the slice. Into the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic backhand. Into the backhand of Cilic. Cilic goes wide. 40 love. It's like Novak to Medvedev. What? Federer to Novak? No way. It's not that far apart. That's still like 9 years. It's not like that at all. All right. 40 love. Has Djokovic to the ace. 3-1 in the second. Yeah, kind of like Dimitrov Djokovic. That's probably a better comparison, yeah. They're closer. That's a closer comparison. Dimitrov and Djokovic was like Federer Djokovic when it comes to age, Which is kind of crazy because like it always felt like the big three were the same age. It never felt like, Federer was obviously got an earlier start, but it never felt, especially in the 2010s, it never felt like Federer was that much older than everybody. But he was 5 years older than them. And that's big. That's a big deal. Difference between 30 and 35 is huge. Difference between 28 and 33, is huge. But we don't really consider that, as a big factor. So yeah. Because I'm also one of those people that is shocked every time I think, oh yeah, Federer was a lot older than Djokovic. Like 5 years is a lot in tennis. That's a lot. That's a big gap. All right, 15-all. Good serve from Cilic. Yeah, it's kind of like Medvedev to Sinner. Yeah, a little bit. All right, 30-15. Good serve from Cilic. Fault second serve. Backhand return. The backhand of Cilic. Backhand from Djokovic. Into the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic forehand. Into the backhand. Slice of Cilic. Drop shot's good. Djokovic gets it though and puts it away. He's fast. 38 and fast. 30-all. 4 years and 9 months is Federer older than Djokovic. Okay. I rounded it up to 5 months. 5 years. I rounded it up. 5 years. It's an easier number to say than 4, whatever you said, 4 years and 9 months. Basically 5 years. Closer to 5 than 4. 30-all. There's a bit of fault second serve. Cilic. Serve again. Into the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand from Cilic. To the backhand of Djokovic. It's Cilic. Forehand again. Into the forehand of Djokovic. To the forehand of Cilic. Cilic puts away the winner. 40-30. 40-30. Ruud just started his match. So we'll keep an eye on Casper Ruud. Pegula's up 4-1 in the third against Navarro. Will Alcaraz play Paris Masters? Yeah. He should be. All right. Brooksby and Greek Sports scoreline is insane. Second serve. Backhand of Djokovic. Djokovic is wide. 3-2. 3-2. Djokovic to the break in the second. All right. Fritz is older than Alcaraz, than Federer. It was the Djokovic. There's a perspective. That's interesting. That is interesting. It's interesting because also like Federer was kind of considering what he went on to do as well, kind of started late. You know, he didn't start. He didn't get his shit together until 21, right? Which was 3 years more, like 3 years later than what Nadal, Nadal at 18 was starting to win slams, right? Alcaraz started winning slams at 18, right? Whereas Federer, he started winning slams at 21. Had Federer sorted his shit out at 18, so, 1999, right? Or 2000, who knows what he could have done? Maybe he could have won Wimbledon in 2001 or 2002. Probably should have won Wimbledon in 2002 if you look at who won that, and if Federer had it together then. And what about the French Open? Because the French Open, before Rafa came along, was kind of open. I mean, 2004 was open with Gaudio winning. You had 2003, 2002. Maybe Federer could have won one of those. Maybe Federer could have beaten Roddick at the US Open back in 2003, right? So had Federer have kind of started a little earlier, what could have been, right? That, whereas with Djokovic, you can say, oh, well, he started winning slams at 19, 20. And you're like, yeah, okay, later than Rafa did. But also, Djokovic had to deal with Rafa and Federer. Federer had to deal with Sampras, like late Sampras, and a little bit of Agassi. But other than that, if 2004 Federer had started in 2001, and that's when we started to see that Federer, even 2003 Federer, had 2003 Federer, started 2 years earlier, that could have been real scary. And then he would have, before Rafa come along, he might have been able to win more French and, take over a little earlier, because it was open season for between 2000 and 2003. It was open season. There was a lot of players winning slams. Imagine if Federer at 18 was the Federer that he was at 21, Because even if Djokovic was the guy he was when he won his first slam, it probably still would have been very tough, right? Because Rafa and Roger were, but Roger didn't have Rafa or Novak in the way if he was in 2000. So Federer had got it together earlier. Things could have been really interesting. His slams could have been where Djokovic is. All right. And Nole serves again. As that goes out goes wide for an ace from Djokovic out wide. 40 love. Weak era stuff is nonsense. I agree. I don't think there's a weak era. I think that's a silly thing to say. By your logic, if Novak figured out his physical issues, 2011, he could have won more slams. True. That's true. That's true. If Djokovic didn't have the physical issues that he had between, 2008, 2011? Yeah, maybe he could have won a few more, which would have been crazy to think that. But, yeah, that's true. The big one is if Nadal didn't get injured. He might, because Nadal's got, I think out of the three guys, he's got the best conversion. Is that, am I remembering that correctly? Rafa has the best conversion on slams. Like slams played and titles won. I think he's got the best conversion rate. And he obviously had a lot of injuries, right? And he withdrew from a lot of tournaments, a lot of slams, for various reasons. So, that's another one, right? How would that have looked if Rafa didn't have to pull out of all those tournaments? All right. Anyways, 4-2. 15 love Cilic. By the way, saying all these things, we're not saying, this is not like a GOAT debate. So don't be thinking, you're trying to tell us that Federer would have been better? No. I'm just saying, how interesting would it be? Like, if we like hypothetically, it would have been very interesting to see Roger at 18 be the Roger that came at 21. That would have been really fun to see. In the early 2000s, if Roger had started in the early 2000s, the millennium, if he had started in 2000 playing the way that he ended up playing in the 2000, mid 2000, that would have been really fun. Because then we would have seen a Sampras and Federer, more of a rivalry maybe as well, like we saw with Alcaraz and Djokovic, the overlap. We wouldn't have, we might have seen more Federer versus Sampras, which again would have been such a treat. Great volley from Cilic. Djokovic is just doing his defensive thing, but then Cilic puts away the volley. 30-love. And Djokovic, hands on knees. That one took it out of him. If. Okay, well, fine. If you don't like fun, then fine. You don't want to just like dream a little? Just have a little bit of a fun hypothetical? Okay. You want to be literal? You want to be like, well, it didn't happen, so who gives a shit? It's okay. That sounds kind of boring to me. I'd rather have a bit of like, use a bit of imagination and see, like, have some fun. Have a fun conversation that means nothing, but still fun. 40-love. 40-love. Cilic serves again. An ace. All right. Djokovic with the set and break. All right. Nole with the break. All right. Djokovic setting a break. Cilic is getting some new shoes to kick us off into the final part of the second set. Pegula got the win. Nice. So Pegula will take on Noskova, and then we've got Anisimova versus Gauff. That's a good lineup. It's a very good lineup. All right. If is fun when it's fair, you're taking this way too seriously, bro. You were taking it way too seriously. We're just having fun. Don't think too hard. We're just mucking around with it. It's not a serious subject. There's no right answers because we'll never know. Don't take it so serious. It's only fun when it's fair. No, it's fun anyway. It doesn't need to be fair. Who gives a shit? Who's talking about fair? Who cares? We're just having fun. People don't like having fun conversation. Yeah, just don't take it too serious. That's the thing. If you start taking these conversations seriously, then that's when it becomes not fun. We're just a fun, lighthearted conversation about what happens. How crazy would it have been? Fun to watch if Federer was a little bit better earlier. If he had been fun, the 2004 Federer had started 3 years earlier. At 18, that would have been. Who cares what it meant for the title race? Who cares about that? It's just more fun to go, oh, imagine if 2004 Federer in 2001 was taking on the Sampras Agassiz of that year. That would have been fun. Would have been really fun to see Sampras, obviously a past his prime Sampras, but still a very tough Sampras, taking on Roger of 2004 would have been real fun. What a fun little generational shift that would have been. Just like we're seeing between 2022 and 2025 between Djokovic and Alcaraz, right? We're seeing that really fun, or even Nadal versus Alcaraz, right? They only played 4 times. Maybe we would have got that with Sampras and Federer had Federer been better early. Had he started kicking ass at 18, But that would have been. I mean, we could have had. That would have been really awesome. That's something I feel like tennis kind of missed. We missed that. We also missed the Djokovic Agassi sort of crossover, because Djokovic started kicking off when Agassi left, 2006, right? 2007. Djokovic started to become a real contender, but Agassi was gone, And there's nothing you could do about that, because Djokovic couldn't have started. He could have been 16 and kicking butt, but only if Agassi could have played a couple of years extra, we might have got a bit more of a crossover between them, and that would have been really fun. The two greatest returners of all time playing each other. That would have been interesting. If Agassi had if his body had held together a little longer, a couple of years extra, and he retired in 2009, now that would have been fun, right? Again, that would have been how fun that would have been. But we never got that, unfortunately, because we don't get what we want. 40 love. Djokovic cruising at the moment. Oh, 40 love. As the return goes in from Cilic to the forehand of Djokovic. Djokovic hits it in. Cilic just hits a very casual forehand and Djokovic puts it away. All right, that was strange. 5-3. Djokovic to take the lead, and Cilic will serve. Hey, speaking of moon, they're showing the moon on the TV. Hey, we went there. Or maybe, apparently. Did we go? What's the moon made of, chat? Like, if you drilled into the moon, what the hell's inside it? Not cheese. Don't say that. That's not funny. But it's kind of funny. What is the moon made of? Does anybody know? Is it just a big rock? Or is it made of, like, pineapple? Okay, let's... All right. 5-3. I said cheese already. You can't take that joke. What's inside the moon? Has it got a core? Is it just a big rock? What is it? What the hell is that thing? What's inside it? Is it just full of air? Is it like a balloon? What is that thing? Is it a metal balloon? Is it made of metal? Is the moon made of metal? What is that? What the hell is that thing? There's another moon inside the moon? It's crazy. Somebody copied and pasted Google response, and that's not fun. We don't give the real answers. Come on now. Don't give an actual answer. That's so boring. Don't spoil it. We're trying to guess. It's just a rock? Okay, it's just a metal rock. All right. Good. Somebody wrote like a full essay. The moon is a rocky body of compound... Blah, 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 blah. Ah, come on now. You reckon people... What if there's like a whole... Like, people living inside it? What if there's like people living inside the moon? Can you imagine? What if there's like a whole city in there? I'm just kidding. You can write your real answers, all right? I just like to think that there's, like a city in there, like a hidden city. That'd be fun. 30 love. That'd be fun. People living in there. Like if you cut it in half, it's just got like layers of like underground passageways and stuff. Like a subway system, like a city subway, It's got, that'd be fun. That'd be kind of wild, right? Imagine that happened. This whole time, This whole time people been living up there? What the hell? That's why you don't see it on the surface. It's underground. That's wild. 40 love! That's way more fun. 40 love. As the return goes in net by Djokovic. Cilic holds, but Djokovic is going to serve for the match. All right. We are the aliens. Yeah, all right. All right. When you go to parts of Hawaii, you see lava rock. That's the moon's. I've been told that's like the moon's surface. Okay. Why is it so perfectly round though? How did that happen? Like if it's just a big rock, how did they make? How do they make it? Why is it so round? It's like a circle. How did that happen? How did it? Why is it so perfectly circle? Can you imagine like the other side of the moon is just like this spiky like? Can you imagine the other side of the moon is like not? It's just mountains and shit. We only see the smooth side of it. All right. Djokovic's going to serve for the match. It's been a little bit quicker. It's 37 minutes. First set went for over an hour. First set was a marathon. Is it perfectly round or does it look like that to us? Yeah, true. Maybe it's an egg shape. True. All right. 5-4. As Cilic slice return. Into the back of Djokovic. To the back of Cilic. Djokovic. Again to the back of Cilic. Into the back of Djokovic. Sliced into the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic back on the stretch. Cilic with a forehand winner. Love 15. Love 15. Love 15. As with a forehand now from Cilic in the net. 15-0. $15-all. $15-alls with a serve again from Nole. Here's a fault. Second serve. As with a backhand now from Djokovic goes long. 15-30. By the way, Djokovic won't be playing tomorrow. He'll be playing in a couple of days. So he gets a day off tomorrow. As the backhand return goes wide by Cilic, 30-all. 30-all. As Djokovic serves again. First serve is a fault, second serve. Djokovic serves again. Double fault. All right, 30-40. Break point for Cilic to get back on serve. And Nole is getting very animated to the coaches. All right. And Nole says a fault again. Has been a backhand Djokovic to the backhand of Cilic. Into the forehand of Djokovic. Cilic with the forehand cross court. Djokovic goes down the line. Cilic gets there with the backhand. Djokovic backhand on the stretch. Cilic slice. Goes wide. Deuce. We get the deuce. All right, deuce. As Djokovic serves a fault, second serve. As we get a backhand rally, Djokovic getting the backhand of Cilic into the forehand of Djokovic. Cilic backhand again to the backhand of Djokovic. Djokovic hits it wide, advantage Cilic. Advantage Cilic. To get back on serve. And Djokovic just got a time violation. Always happens when it's the most inconvenient. And Nole serves a fault. Second serve. Serving to the forehand of Cilic. Djokovic backhand. Into the backhand of Cilic. Again, the backhand of Djokovic. Cilic slice. Djokovic backhand down the line. Cilic gets with the forehand, but hits it long, and we get to deuce. All right, we get to deuce. Brooksby and Grigsby's scoreline is 6-1, 1-6, 6-1. What in the hell is that? That's a crazy scoreline. That's wild. That is wild. Yeah, the reason why Alcaraz is not playing this is because he rolled his ankle in Tokyo. And he doesn't want to risk playing anymore. Good serve. Nole with a match point. Advantage Djokovic. By the way, I think Nole was just telling his coaches, like, I'm winning. I made that. I decided to do that. He's going to fire everybody. Coaches aren't giving him any help. He's like, I made that decision and I won the point. Anyways, advantage Djokovic. Match point to get through this round. He serves. An ace out wide. And again, Novak just going, yep. I I think Novak's just pissed off and his coach is saying like, bro, and I think Cilic is like, or your coach is giving you wrong advice, and Novak's having a laugh. I love when these like over 35-year-old guys play each other, like because now it's at that point where they're kind of like, yeah, we were rivals, we battled out for the biggest trophies. Now we're just here having fun, and I love that. Like it always seems like such a cordial, like fun. Yeah, all the guys over 35, that when they play each other at this time, they're thinking, shit, we're still here. 15, 20 years later, we're still playing, right? So great to see. So much fun. It doesn't seem like it's any sort of bitter rivalry. They just all seem to be happy to be still playing each other. But Djokovic gets a win. That was a tough win. 2 hours for 2 sets. Almost 2 hours for 2 sets. That was a tough fight, as we'd expected from Cilic, but these courts being slow and the humidity high, it's going to be a physical battle for everybody. It's going to be tough. This is going to be a physical week. Ruud won the first set. I'll tell you, I'd be watching out for Ruud and I'd be watching out for Fritz this week. I feel like if the courts are slow, those two guys might be able to take advantage. Those two guys might be able to take the advantage because Fritz and Ruud have both done well on slow hard courts in the past, or at least slow courts in the past. And Ruud he's underrated his physicality. By the way, Ruud Cerundolo third round would be a banger. Cilic waves goodbye. Not sure if he's announced that he will finish next year or not, but you just wonder how many more times he's going to be playing in Shanghai. If he's going to continue on, I don't know if he's announced anything or if I'm saying anything that he hasn't said anything. But yeah. Oh, Rune as well. Rune's another one for sure. Rune as well. I think the only difference is Rune's physicality will be tested, whereas Ruud and Fritz, physically, unless Fritz has some injuries, which he has had some issues over Fritz had a leg injury last week. So maybe not Fritz, because his body's starting to bend a little. But Casper Ruud, I think he's, the only thing is, Rune, the only worry I have about Rune is physically. Is he able to go, every second day play in this weather and is he able to go? Whereas Ruud, it's a great opportunity for him. Problem is that they're all down the bottom half of the draw with Sinner and Djokovic. Djokovic trying to figure out what's the Chinese symbols. I don't know what he wrote on the screen, but actually I can find out. Hang on. Let me have a look. Let me see what if I can Google Translate this thing. Hang on. Don't tell me. I want to do it myself. Hang on. Don't tell me. 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 Let's see what he wrote. Is he going to translate? Don't tell me. No, it's not going to work. My phone doesn't want to do it. Technology is failing me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Tell me. What did he say? What did he write? What did he write? My phone's not working. It won't focus on the... Maybe it's the green writing is kind of... What did he write? Somebody tell me. Did I get the US Open Alcaraz shirt? Yeah. It's the pink one right there. Commentator said he just wrote Shanghai. Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Hey, by the way, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker, Maria. Appreciate it. Victory. That's it. By the way, we're almost at 300 likes as well, so thank you for that. How was the movie? I didn't get to go see the movie. because it was going to take up pretty much my entire time. So instead, I decided to do a couple of things. Instead of going to see one movie for my entire break, I'm going to go see the movie anyway, probably tomorrow or over the weekend. But instead, I went to... Instead, I decided to just go and have some fun. I went to the arcade, play some games. That was very fun. And that was, and then when I had dinner. DiCaprio movies are always long. Yeah, I only had 6 hours. I only had like 5 hours to go do stuff, so I didn't want to spend 3 of those at 5 hours in the cinema. I want to go to an arcade and just have to go do some fun stuff. I was gonna go play mini golf, but it was too busy, and bowling was too busy too. So the arcade was and dinner and yeah, it's fun. Had a good fun time. Fun times. Now tomorrow we have a big day. We got Gauff versus Anisimova. We've got Sinner tomorrow as well. And we've also got Eala taking on playing the qualies of playing the qualifiers of Wuhan. Yeah, it was fun just to get out of the house. Arcades still exist with video game cabinets. No. I'm talking about like arcades with like updated like games. Like arcades with like you can play like beer pong and shit. It's awesome. And like shooting games, like you get like the shooting thing and like virtual bowling and stuff. Basketball, like kind of like carnival games, I guess, but inside. Hey, Change, thank you for the 26 months as a Tier 3 member. How is spring shaping up in Melbourne? It's fine. It's pretty warm. It's going to be warm over the weekend, which is going to be rough, but we'll endure. We will endure. I will survive, hopefully. Bublik is losing? Yeah, because these courts are slow, man. These courts are slow. School holidays in arcade is hectic. Well, luckily I went and there wasn't that many people, so that was fortunate. Yeah, courts might be too slow for Bublik. Shelton lost, as well. So, again, like I said, the court speeds have slowed down a lot this year, so we should probably expect players that enjoy those surfaces. Maybe the players who hit the ball hard, who are rely on their serves, and the big ground strokes, they're going to struggle. Maybe they might struggle. Anyways, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be back again to do it again tomorrow. Yeah, Bublik wouldn't be able to play. He wouldn't like the long rallies. You're right. Those long rallies might be his issue. But I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. We've got not much during the day, but during the afternoon, there's got to be a lot to do. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for another day. We've got semifinals in Beijing. We've got Sinner coming up tomorrow in Shanghai, and we've also got Wuhan as well. So lots of tennis tomorrow. But Djokovic wins 7-6, 6-4. Did I not say that was going to be the score? Pretty sure I did. I'm sure I'm correct. I'm sure I predicted again the same correct prediction again, as always. It's pretty close. I was at a tiebreak. Cilic put up a good fight, but Djokovic too good in the end, and he's into the third round. We'll watch Nola in a couple of days' time, but Djokovic wins 7-6, 6-4. I'll see you tomorrow.